muscle cramp or something, and he did some tests, and then after test results came out, and he has cancer.
Oh my god!
I mean, this is terrible.
And have they got it pretty good under control? Do they think?
It's hard to say. Like they did the surgery, and so it's on his spine. So they took off a portion of the mass.
Keep going.
We were just talking about her family, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, so you wanted to know a little bit more.
Yeah. Sorry. So I'll do the intro real quick because I was actually really interested. So this is Asif Hasan. Am I doing properly?
Yep.
Perfect. Asif Hasan is the CEO of SimpTek Technologies. Yep. Somebody who's gone through Planet Hatch, Propel. TME, and now the podcast. So all the same caliber. And yeah, so let's get started.
Yeah, like you just give a nice introduction. So you wanted to know a little bit more about myself.
Yeah.
So why don't I say it like that? So I came here almost 5 years ago.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So the reason why I came here was actually it was a struggle with my family. They didn't want me to come.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm the eldest son in my family,
okay.
And I was doing engineering, electrical and electronic engineering.
Where at?
At Dhaka, of the capital of Bangladesh.
Okay.
So the university is called American International University of Bangladesh. So while I was studying, I always wanted to do something more, like just wanted to see the world in a different way.
Totally.
Like, why not? My dad left a village where still there's no electricity. And he came to Dhaka and he created his own empire.
That's awesome.
So my point was, why can't I do something?
I think you can.
So that was the motivation, but didn't have any clue actually what I'm going to do. But one thing I had was a scholarship from UNB.
Awesome.
So electrical engineering, that was my dream. I said, okay, I'm just going to go. I got the scholarship. Why not? So landed here first in St. John, and no clue about this country.
Right.
The picture in my head was polar bear everywhere.
Yeah, okay. So, we do have summer.
We have summer. So that was weird that actually I landed during the winter. So
okay. Real polar bear time, yeah.
Real flavor of it. So it wasn't quite, surprising because I knew this is going to be cold.
Gotcha.
So landed here and then as an international student, so went to UNBSJ, made lots of friends, and one of the best friend that I got was Kevin.
Oh, really?
Business partner.
I didn't know.
Yeah, same class. We started the first day, and then we had a nice conversation about studies and everything.
That's so funny.
It is, actually.
If you knew you were going to spend your whole life with him.
That sounds like...
Yeah.
Probably listening.
Like, what do you mean?
So, I didn't know anything, actually. I didn't even know that we would end up doing business.
Okay.
Or even not knowing what I'm doing today.
Right.
So, simply... you asked me about my life. I think it is important to come here and then meet Kevin type person, because it took me 1 year to find the right team for this business that I'm doing today.
Cool.
So business is not always about doing startup. I think you know better actually. It's not about actually the idea.
Yeah, it changes.
It changes.
Yeah, totally.
The value, value proposition for the customers that you thought 2 years ago will change a lot throughout the time. But one thing that does not change is the people.
Right.
And if they change, then you have to rethink what went wrong and actually really change your business.
Totally.
So anyway, going back to that, so I started UNBSJ doing engineering. So second year passed, and then you have to actually come to Fredericton to continue engineering. So that's when me and Killen again came back to Fredericton together, continued. So on my fourth year, almost last year, what happened was we had to take some engineering courses. And
last year,
elective courses.
So you were going to school while doing your business?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Is that easy?
Oh my God, that's totally different. It is easy because for me it was because that was my passion. That's what I liked.
Right.
So what happened was at the end of engineering year, you have to take a engineering design course. Right?
So last year you were doing your business and engineering.
It was business and it was a course as well.
I dropped out. I didn't think I would be able to do it. But I wasn't very good. I shouldn't say that. I was okay.
You were not that good as well. I had to drop out too. I was left with 4 more courses actually.
Yeah. I think honestly between me and you, I think the university, if you're listening, really needs to think about that, right? Because I did 4 years. I did 3 in PEI and I did 1 here, and they want me to go back for law and ethics.
Same
and
thing.
A design course to show I can work in a team.
For me, same thing. It's like all first year courses because I couldn't get transferred with, so I have to take all those. So my point was like, I don't mind taking courses, but let me take what I want, and that is going to be significant to my career. Or
And I'm
jobs.
proud that I went to UMB. You know,
I am. Me too.
totally.
Definitely.
But it's hard for me to be like a standard bearer if they don't let me wave their flag.
So talking about that, actually, I want to share something. This is my perspective again. Like,
Yeah, please. That's what this is.
Yeah, so the way I look into it, if you think of it, I think I heard similar somewhere else as well. Like when my grandfather's time, the economical and social culture was designed in such a way that if you're a farmer, it's okay because that's a part of the economy, and whoever owns the land, they're the top of the chain.
Right.
So that was like, for our country's perspective, like almost like 56, 70 years ago. So that's the whole chain. Okay, you are a landlord, you are the top on the chain, you're farmers, you are part of the chain. If you're nothing in between, there's nothing else for you. So then what happened is the Industrial Revolution happened.
Right.
So it changed, which is my dad's time. They realized that no longer farming and being landlord is actually the economy. So social policy changed.
So what did it change to?
Industrial Revolution happened.
So what if the land's not valuable? Is it now the labor or the production?
So there comes a point. So what I heard from my dad is like, in order to be in the economy, you have to either acquire knowledge about the industry,
right,
or you design an industry and you produce products and services.
Right. Okay. Now I'm following.
So now what happened is no longer that economy or social policy does not exist, and because of this change, you have the industrial business owners. They're the top of the chain, who owns oils, who produces, manufactures products and services. Or you can be part of the system by acquiring knowledge in the industry.
I was going to bring that up, that we're now in like a knowledge-based economy.
Exactly.
So now,
So that happened on my dad's time. So now the question is, in order to get into the industry and in order to acquire knowledge, you have to go to university. That was the only source of acquiring knowledge.
Right.
So that's why my dad's time, like it was all about go to university, go to school, take a PhD degree, spend 30 years of your life, then only you can enter into your career.
Right.
So I was following the same, but then I sooner realized actually our social policy right now is not exactly what happened to my dad. You no longer need to actually stay 10 years, get a PhD to actually get into your career.
Right.
Knowledge is so available right now. Like if I'm dedicated to like what I'm learning, what I'm doing today, I didn't learn anything. Actually, I shouldn't say like exactly similar what I'm doing today. I didn't learn in university. Being an engineer, what I learned was how to solve problems. Whether it's chemistry, physics, maths, or anything, I know how to solve that problem in my way. So, but the specific knowledge about what I'm doing today, my business, my finance, my marketing side, taking care of the team, building them, motivating them, all this has been acquired, what is out there into the world right now.
Okay, so let me just go back for a sec. So I agree with you. Like the tools that you need to run your business are definitely not what was taught in engineering. A little bit better in TME. I'll give them that.
I have to admit that. Yes, TME.
But
excuse me.
To get into the workforce, a university degree, I found out 53% of Canadians have a university degree. So now it's weirder. You're the minority if you don't now.
Yeah.
So that was weird. But the thing that I think is to be successful, I think you're right. I think that if you want to, you have to be self-driven, you have to be self-learning, you have to take that initiative yourself and go with it. To get into the workforce, though, I think a university degree is helpful. But it's like, then you have a job.
Yeah.
And then but everybody in this room, right? Like I learn more from these people in this room than I do from anyone else. Like, Phil, you see this? Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. And the knowledge, in order to learn that, you have like media so many times. Like, I mean, in order for you to know what's actually happening in NASA, you don't have to open a book,
right,
go to a course, and then spend 4 months.
Yeah, that's true.
Then come
too.
out and say, "Oh yeah, now I know everything." You can just dedicate yourself if you're really passionate about it. Go to YouTube, go to their channels. It's dedicated by and taught by their people, and you're learning what you're really passionate about.
Right.
So it's all about what I wanted to bring up here is like I didn't know all these things.
No, totally.
I was following the traditional method. Okay, yes, my dad wanted me to. They still call me every day. What is your degree?
That's awesome, though. My parents do too, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that for sure for my dads and for my for my parents' purposes for sure. I also personally want to get a degree for sure.
Yeah, just
But it just
to finish it.
Yeah, it just didn't make me. It didn't make sense to me in the sense like, when I found my career, what I love, I started to solve problems. For me, degree was more like cost associated to it.
Right.
For me, being an international student, it's $10,000 per semester. And on top of it, the courses that I'm taking, those are not what is relevant to what I'm doing. So if I were given a choice that, yes, you can pay $10,000 and you can take this technical elective, blah, 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 I would love to do that.
Right.
So anyway, so that was just a part of it.
One thing there, so I think about that as, would I send my kids to university? And I would. And the only reason is I just need them to get out of the house. Like, I wasn't an adult until I left.
That's true.
When I left, I was like, whoa, I gotta buy groceries. I gotta, I now have to take care of myself in a way that was so different because I come home and there's food, right? Like, that's a huge advantage. So that's one thing that I really do value about the education, was just getting out of my house. You know what I mean? My comfort zone.
I totally agree. And as I just say,
you did a lot differently. Obviously, you came here.
I left my home country, culture, everything
Crazy.
for education, and that was the only motivation for me.
Right.
That was a goal, and it's still learning.
Right.
Yes.
That's a good point. Still learning.
I just want to clear this out. I'm not saying that I don't like education.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
but I'm just saying there are different ways to acquire knowledge.
Right.
So you have to be passionate about what you want.
And the university is a tool.
University is a tool, a platform that actually gives you that.
Yeah.
So for example, my profit, there are 100 people in the first year classroom, I remember.
Right.
Question is, teacher is going to teach generic way to 100 people. If you want to learn more, go and ask that professor. He's not going to say, oh, I don't want to teach you anymore. He's definitely going to, because of your passion, he's definitely going to teach you extra that you are asking to retrieve from him.
Right.
So it goes back to anywhere. If you're passionate about something, you just have to ask people. Comes back to business.
Right.
I had no clue, zero clue
Same.
about
100%.
anything that I'm doing today. Financial projection, I thought that is just a part.
Do it all day.
Learn, go through MBA, then learn.
Totally.
And I'm doing it, and it's
cash
real.
flow every morning.
Every morning, it's a steering wheel for the company.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? And I'm doing it every day.
Right.
How? I wonder, how am I doing it? Because yes, I ask people, relevant people who knows into the industry, mentors in this community. They helped me to acquire those knowledges, and I quickly grabbed it because I was passionate, and that is something that I need to do.
Right. Totally.
So that's why. So,
Okay. So hold on. So you came to Canada.
Yeah.
You started a business in Canada. Awesome. Congratulations. Can you tell me about? I know I was actually talking with Kumaran yesterday, and just some of the issues that have been faced where he's from another country as well, starting a business in Canada. I know it's better here, but I don't know how good it is. Can you just expand on that for me?
That's actually a very interesting question to ask any international business. So
it's a little bit loaded.
And you mentioned Kumar, and actually he was one of my mentors. I always followed him when I started this business because I always felt like he did it. Being international, that wasn't
100%.
a barrier for him.
Congratulations.
Exactly. So definitely there is always a way. And
so what is the process? So if I want to start a business in Canada, and so I'm from Ireland. I don't know. So I come to Canada, I want to start a business. What do I got to do?
So here's the thing. So I didn't know anything. I had to, again, learn through the journey. So what I can tell you is what I have done.
Yeah, please. That's the best way to learn.
Exactly.
Experience. Yeah.
So the best way is I can also mention some of the mistakes that I did.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So first of all, I didn't realize that this could be such a big problem. Throughout the journey, that you should have taken care at a very early stage, or at least not taken care, at least strategize.
Right.
So that it comes as a routine for your everyday life, that activities that you do. So what I mean by this, it will make sense, is when I started the business, I didn't even know it would be a business. It was just something that I liked. My partner said that makes sense. Started to validate, as I said, and it took 1 year to find the right team, and then it took another 1 year to validate the business. So during that process, I didn't even know this is a business.
Right.
So my intention was not to figure it out, okay, me at a very early stage and asked them like, what should I do? So coincidentally, I was lucky that Plant Hatch actually recently got a designation letter for the SUV, like Startup Visa,
Okay.
they call it. So Startup Visa is a specialized visa PR process that Government of Canada provides to entrepreneurs who started business in Canada.
Okay.
So there are certain eligibility criteria that you have to meet for that.
Such as?
Such as, like, you have to go through accredited accelerator programs like
Oh, really?
Hatch.
Okay, so if you actually have to go through Planet Hatch.
Yeah, that's what I know based on
Interesting.
knowledge.
Okay, no, that's cool though.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you go through that process and
Provides credibility.
exactly provides
Right.
credibility, the community will support you, provide a recommendation letter, and also you have to get investment from Canadian investors
Oh, really?
as well.
Interesting.
So there are multiple eligibility criteria, but what I realized is I was eligible.
Okay.
And I was getting that invitation from Plant Hatch,
Yeah, totally.
Ignite
So they want to keep you here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I felt two feelings there. One is I felt, of course, important because, like, I felt like, okay, like, this community really wants me to help. But on the flip side, I also felt this is amazing. Like, Canada, this country, and this community has full support to fuel entrepreneurs like us.
Yeah, we don't that's something that kind of throws me off. Like, I never until like the election, I was never like, they want to close the border. I was like, why would they do that? Like, what would have because I have friends, right? I was like, what? Like,
Scares you, right? Even though, like,
it was such a foreign thing to me because I grew up in Canada, right?
Yeah.
It's like people come. That's just how it works.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's what I felt. I actually didn't know I would be feeling like this. I was always worried that, am I going to be welcomed here? How am I going to be treated? And this and that. But
Well, we love people. You know what I mean? Like, because I learned so much about different cultures all the time, and I don't travel enough is a big issue too because it's hard. No direct flights yet. Come on, airport expansion.
you need to go to that side of the world. Like,
I'd love to actually. That'd be great.
it's a whole different like culture perspective.
I
and
know,
everything.
right? And we're so spoiled here. We don't even know.
But still, because of the multicultural and diversity you have in this country, you get to experience in some sort.
Right, totally.
Like, at least I'm telling you.
We haven't
my
even the cultural market. That's kind of cool to go there. Yeah.
Exactly, and there's so many immigrants are coming here every day, right?
Which is good. So let me ask you a question because I need to ask this. I found out UNB retains 5% of their international students.
Wow.
Why did you stay? So you're like 1 in 20. So why?
Why did I stay?
Yeah, why New Brunswick? That's just a
why New
question. Yeah.
Brunswick?
And
Okay.
it's not a loaded question. It's just like me being like, I found out this stat the other day. I'm like,
Oh.
I got somebody who is the outlier.
Yeah.
What happened?
So now that has a lot with my business and my partner that I found. So my wife.
Oh, right. So you got married.
I got
we
married,
we have to bring that up. So how'd that go?
Yeah, they didn't know. Again, everything in life happened just like surprising.
Yeah.
It's such a mystery. I traveled all the way more than 7,000 miles coming here. Feels like I was meant to come here to get married.
That's sweet.
Or I was meant to come here to start this business. But anyway, so she was always my friend. She had we shared common friends in the Bengali community. So I'm Bangladeshi, and we call our cultures Bengali.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So Bengali community, there's lots of people here, amazing people. So I had some friends, and she had friends too, and we were always like connecting in different events and places, but
cool.
never knew that this would end up like this.
That's sweet though.
It is, and it went really fast. Like, especially my partner, like Killen, like he couldn't imagine it because he knows. To be frank, your business partner like acts like almost like a work wife.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Like you spend more.
I know
time,
everything about these people.
You spend more time with them probably more than your girlfriend or your wife.
Well, Cody's moving employees into his house now.
Don't do that with it. That's different. Anyway, so I found her and we were friends, and she always. And that's another thing you need to know is like finding that right partner is so important because.
Tell me about that, actually. So tell me about that from like an entrepreneur perspective, like because you are busy, man. I know you're busy. So how does that work? Like.
So first thing, what I used to think, like this is again my perspective, independent of anybody.
Dude, This is literally you telling me what you think.
This is my first time doing podcast.
Like, there's like a disclaimer on this that Phil's going to say what he thinks, Asif's going to say what he thinks. Okay. If you don't like it, turn the page.
Okay, that helps. Okay. This is my first time. So anyway, so talking about my wife, so my expectation before marriage was like, okay, I'm so busy in my startup, I'm so busy in work, that when I'm going to come home, I'm not going to talk about work at all. Because like, what the I mean,
how'd that go?
I don't want to do that. That was my perception, and I thought that would make me happy. Okay, but then I realized the nature of work we do, sometimes when you're leading, you become lonely on the top because
100%.
you cannot share your weakness to the people. Not that I'm saying like there will be weakness. Of course, there's sometimes
everyone has weaknesses.
Exactly, there will be sometimes you feel worried.
Call spade a spade.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
If you are worried and you share to your team, they all become worried. 100%. So then it's a fall to your company. It's a fall to your teamwork and everything. So then when I bear all those, even though my perception was I'm going to go home, I'm not going to share, but then it's within you.
Wrecks at your mental. Yeah, it's a huge issue.
It affects.
Yeah, 100%.
Next day you work, go back to work, you feel like, what am I doing? Like,
100%.
why am I here?
Yep, no, I get that.
And so that comes, the perception was wrong. That's what I realized after marriage. Is no, I found a really right partner, my wife Alicia. She has so much patience. And
that's nice.
so much knowledge in the startup life as well, because of her work as well, and her mom already started a business in St. John, grew to 120 people.
That's awesome.
So she knows that. So what I've realized is I started to share just to see if she can cope up. But I was amazed to see that actually it helps a lot.
100%.
Rather than hiding, if you can get a chance to tell your wife about the best partner that you have within your home, that this is what I'm going through, I'm not happy on this, or I'm sad on this, it helps you so much. That anyway, I just couldn't even imagine that.
I appreciate that. And it is a partnership, right? Like, it's like, that's what, so the good and the bad, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm sure there's sometimes that she's like, okay, that's enough, we gotta move on.
Exactly. So that takes back to that thing is like, as I said, like, how is marriage? So there were lots of perception before marriage, how I thought, and today what I am doing is totally different.
That's cool, man.
Like, it is different.
I appreciate that because I'm not married, so I enjoy this aspect of like how that's changed. And Cody, same over there. Okay, so I got to ask you, because we've been talking about it now for like 30 minutes. What is your business? What does it do?
Oh, what is my business? That's a good
just
question.
like for the people listening.
Okay,
yeah. I know, like, so
I can give a little bit of history.
Okay,
and
let's do that.
That will help many people, like, what I went through.
Yeah, totally.
I also might guide some other people.
I guarantee it's super common. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly,
everyone's gone through stuff.
Yeah. So as I said, we started journey 1 year finding right team, then validating business.
Can you tell me about the right team? That's come up like 3 or 4 times. So what do you mean by the right team?
Right team is, again, it's almost marrying somebody.
Yeah, okay,
but in work.
That's the right team.
Yes, because the thing is, again, goes back to the same problem, fundamental problem. You go through so much stress that you need somebody to be shared with, because otherwise you're going to make decisions out of frustration.
Right, totally.
You don't want to do that.
No.
Because you're not doing it for yourself.
Right.
You're doing it for a bigger purpose. So right team means, for me, is having somebody who can complement when you are... There will be time you won't be able to work.
Right.
You want to take a rest, but somebody else is right there that you can trust, that he can take care of your
share the load.
Exactly.
Totally.
So that for me is right team, and balancing, like whether it's business, tech, or marketing, or everything, that comes naturally later on.
I think people don't respect that enough. Like, you can learn the basics of anything, and then like you can hire people for the specialties.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
And when you have enough money.
It helps.
You can hire top people.
Well.
So the groundwork has to be done by like all the anyway. So going back to my business, so we started our journey focusing on residential homeowners. So our goal was to actually empower consumers to make their own choices in terms of saving energy.
Okay.
So, for example, if you pay for your bill at the end of the month,
My electricity bill.
your electricity bill, exactly, you have just X kilowatt of hours and X amount of money.
Okay.
Nothing else tells you.
Right.
Like,
So I
what to
use
do.
this much electricity. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you want to change some behavior or you want to do some actions
Right.
during the month, it's too late by the time you get the bill. So what we simply wanted to do is introduce a real-time energy monitoring system for homeowners, so that when you see at the beginning of the month, you can budget what is going to be your projected bill at the end of the month.
Okay. So like So here's a terrible example. I have a TV in my house that just has images from Google. It just switches like every minute or so.
Okay.
And I have no idea what that costs me every month. So, but I could find out.
Okay, that's too detailed.
Okay,
You
okay,
can. I mean, it's up to you how you monitor that. But the thing is, they're like 80% of your power consumption are coming from heating, cooling, and hot water.
Okay.
So think of it: heating, cooling, and hot waters are the devices that you can actually change
Right.
based on your needs or understanding. Right? Like when you're feeling cold, you cranked it to 30.
Yeah, totally.
You might not need 30.
No.
Put it on 21.
Right.
Okay, that will still solve the problem, but that will also conserve energy, which affects your bill.
100%.
So this 80% is the place that you can actually play to save
Gotcha.
or reduce, be green. There are a lot of other options that you have within that.
Right.
So our goal was to communicate that to homeowners. We were doing well and started this community, but then we sooner realized the problem is much more bigger for utilities. The same situation, but bigger problem for utilities.
So me as a homeowner, I'm worried about my whatever $100 bill, but the utility has a much bigger one.
Much bigger one. Question, most of the time we were asked, like, oh my god, you're saying like a utility has problem to make you save energy?
Right.
Yeah, that's how they make money. Why would they ever want to save you energy?
Yeah, that's how I was. Yeah, that was for me for a loop too. So, why is there like people sending me letters saying this is how much electricity you use versus your neighbor? What's up with that?
Yeah, so they do want to do that. So there are multiple reasons to it. The first biggest reason is electric utility companies, they're moving in a transition phase right now. They no longer just want to sell electricity. They want to sell products and services.
Okay.
Because if you think of it, with the rise of renewable energies, like Tesla's there, Powerwall you have there, and you can buy electricity down in California in a single day, in a single hour, from 5 different multiple operators.
Oh,
just
really?
like clicking button.
Really?
So it's so competitive, so you want to give value-added services to your customers, that's so that they can choose you.
Right.
Here perspective is different because utilities like NB Power, they're the only
Monopoly.
one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they are the only one here, Crown Corporation.
Right.
And they're doing their best to serve their citizens here at a cheaper rate, very cheap rate. That's why we don't even worry about like.
Yeah, it's so true too.
10 cents flat rate.
Yeah.
There's no time of
Cheapest
day.
in North America or something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I should know that.
In New Brunswick. Out of nowhere.
Exactly. So going back to that is like, so we found the electric utility company, they want to transition their business model from selling electricity to more like products and service based model.
Okay. So what would be a product that electricity company would?
Like you're already using probably like a like a hot water system.
Yeah, something.
So most of the New Brunswick people, they're already using a hot water system that has been deployed by utilities.
Oh,
like
really?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're actually coming in and installing stuff.
Yeah, like
Cool.
you have heat pump program they want to launch to you so that you can be efficient and everything. So the thing is, they want to do that, but they would need better information about consumers to give them targeted values.
Like who's going to buy type thing?
Exactly. So like for example, you have a heat pump program. You're telling everybody there is a heat pump program, but not everybody might need that.
No.
So that's where we did some pilot with utilities, and especially NB Power. We learned and we showed them an example where they can better understand their consumers from the region, so that rather than targeting a big customer base doing a mass marketing campaign, you can pinpoint top 10 percentile of your population that should get that program.
So you're like market intelligence for utility?
Market intelligence for utility.
Oh, okay, that's
right
cool.
there.
Yeah, all right.
So that actually, market intelligence is one way to deliver, but the cool part is the analytics side of it. So we started to gather customer intelligence and share that to utility with the permission from customers, and we started to help them to get the best ROI for both consumers, both utility side. So that when we started, but the thing is, with working with utilities, like we're talking about a long sell cycle, right? Which is good because at the end of the day, if you sell to the whole customer base, you're getting a lot of revenue.
It's great.
But
Everyone
for startups, our life cycle we count it at a very short period of time.
Weeks.
So
Used
yeah,
to.
weeks. I made it like, me with my partner 6 months. 6 months is our life cycle. Every 6 months we flip in a different way. So for us, the sales cycle with utilities like 1 year, more than 1 year.
Right.
So what do? So we made a decision with our partner and sat together with all the team members, said, hey guys, like what can we do to generate quick revenue
To survive until we get the big deals.
Exactly, until we
totally.
get the big deal. So that's when we started looking at the commercial property sites.
Okay.
So same product, the problem, like for example, like Killam type properties,
Yep.
they're our customers.
Awesome.
They have 500 buildings under their portfolio. They have $25 million budget that they want to spend. Question is, how would they point which building to actually work with?
And this is on like energy saving products.
Energy efficient products, exactly.
Interesting.
Retrofitting
Gotcha.
products and services.
Gotcha.
They don't even know what it is.
They're just trying to save money.
They're trying to save money.
They're an investment firm or something like that, right?
Exactly.
So,
So
yeah.
traditionally for them, you have two types of offering. One is you have engineering firms who comes to your building, take a snapshot of your building.
That's
does
us.
Auditing. Yeah.
Used to be anyway.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
So it's like a 120-page document. Give it to them and give a recommendation. Customer is not taking the decision. It's a very one-time solution for them.
Right. I see what you're
If you
saying.
have 500 buildings, if it takes 1 month to do one, let's say I'm just like reducing it, it usually takes 6 months. You're gonna take forever to
Right.
actually analyze everything.
Yeah, totally.
On the other side, you have building automation system. You're talking about $500,000 to $1 million retrofit in your building to make your building automated.
Right.
So not everybody has that budget. Not everybody has the
Right.
intensity to do what I just mentioned here. So what we come is in between, giving the exact same product we did to utility, is helping them to understand all their building energy in under one portfolio, then pinpoint which building they should target if they do want to do some new retrofits.
So do you have to install devices?
So that goes back to how we do it.
Right.
So there's
You don't have to tell me if this is like public. You don't have to tell me if you
Oh
don't.
no, it's okay. Our customers should know. So the way we do it is like the two ways. If you have smart meters already in your property, we can collect the data, then we analyze the
Oh,
rest.
that's nice then.
But if you don't, which most of the like jurisdictions they don't, we have hardware partners. So we install hardwares in your property
That's awesome.
and we collect the data. So we are hardware agnostic. We're a software business.
Same here, brother.
It doesn't matter where the data is coming from.
Right.
As long as it comes to our platform, we start to analyze that for them.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty much the solution. So right now we're selling to utilities. We're also selling to commercial partners. Government is also our customers, municipalities
Very
as
cool.
well. Whoever owns building on a property
Right.
and they have problem with their energy.
So what is the competition like for you guys? Is there other people that do similar services? I don't know.
So as just mentioned, like, the two sides of it.
Oh,
You have
okay.
building automation and then some analytics on top of it.
Right.
They are part of our competitions. And we also have engineering firms.
Right.
They're doing analysis, auditing, consulting services.
Right.
So the way we make ourselves different is we take our customer with a journey. So we are not actually a typical SaaS provider. We're a solution provider. So what that means is, like, if a customer takes into a journey, it goes through a loop. So we take them, for example, you cannot save what you cannot measure.
Right.
So the first step that we take our customer into a journey is visualize your own data. So visualize is the first step. Then once you visualize the data, customer asks us the question, what do I do with this data?
Right. Totally.
So then it comes to the analyze, which is insights,
Yeah.
analytics, and everything. So visualize, and you did analyze. For example, I looked into your building. I found your insulation is not working well. Your heating system is problem. Okay, you told me. Then what do I do?
Right.
It comes to the third phase, which is act. So visualize, analyze, and then act. So you want a recommendation. What do I buy?
Right.
What products and services will be suitable for me, just for me, not for everybody, generic way. That, yeah, if you buy heat pump program, you're good.
Right.
So you want to know what's specific to me.
Right.
So our product does that. Guess what? If you do an act, you come back to the same loop. Because you want to visualize, analyze, and then again act.
Right. So maybe something else makes more sense now.
Exactly. So
cool.
we continuously take them into a journey with the solution, and our customers are happy.
That's great. That's a good start, man. That's all that matters, really.
Exactly. That's all.
That's
that
sweet,
matters.
man. That's cool. So, what's next for you guys then? Are you guys going after more utilities or this commercial stuff, or what's up?
Yeah. So we're expanding. So recently we expanded in Middle Eastern market.
Oh, really? Oh, very cool. So great. Good
So,
for you,
thank
man.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So we're starting to export their Middle Eastern market, and we found a solution that is packaged in such a way that it doesn't matter where you are from.
Right.
We can just parcel that, and then you just plug and play.
That's sweet, man.
So that it took time.
It
all this
does.
happened in
It
2.5
all does.
years. So
Yeah. Really? That's short?
short, but every day is 1 year.
You got to remember, though, man, like, it takes forever. Like, I think we're in year 4, maybe 5. I don't even know.
But here's the thing: we still didn't figure out everything.
Yeah.
There's still like company, like, so going back to my company, actually, so I wouldn't say it is easy, but it was comfortable to start business in this community,
Right.
especially from New Brunswick,
100%.
because we have so much support.
Yeah, we do.
Then from like starting to then like building the business again, we had lots of help. But I feel like SimpTek at this point is actually in a transition to a growth phase.
Oh, perfect.
So in order to get into that phase, which is totally unknown for me, we need more support.
Right.
We need to know something that we didn't do before.
So how do you go about finding it?
So
What is your strategy? Sorry.
So again, the two pieces in a business you always require to learn everywhere. Actually, you have to have money.
Yeah, it helps.
Right? Second of all, your product needs to work.
Right.
If you're trying to sell something that is just a concept, you only consider yourself a startup at that point.
Right.
So when I'm saying a growth phase, I believe our customers are buying a product that is solving their problem, and I believe we're earning some money, even though we have to raise capital for sure to grow in the next phase. But the strategy that I'm thinking of right now is I think we need more support from the community. We need to get support from like energy efficiency, particularly the market that we're in, is no more just a business. It's a culture. It's a mandate that is coming from the government.
Right.
Like carbon taxing is no longer a theory. It's a reality. Next year, you'll get charged with 10% tax on your carbon.
How does that work? What is carbon tax going to do to me? What is it?
It's a good question. Like based on my knowledge into this industry, I mean, what I have heard.
It's better than mine, man.
It's a very simple way to look into it. You every kilowatt usage that you're doing is equivalent to some sort of carbon dioxide emitted somewhere.
So the lights were running in this business.
Exactly. So if this light that you're turning on is actually powered by a coal power plant, so there is actually a carbon dioxide emission. So what that means is every usage of your electricity translates to carbon dioxide emission.
Wow, that's wild.
So other flip side is every time you reduce your electricity usage, you're taking off carbon dioxide from the environment.
So they're going to tax my electricity bill even more.
So the other way to look into it, they're going to push you to use renewable energy.
I was going to be like, okay, tell me the positive way to look at this.
Exactly. So they will push you to use renewable energy that is clean and more green.
That's wild.
So that you're still using electricity, but in a cleaner way. So carbon taxing probably...
So this could hurt like people that don't have a lot of money per se. Like if like I'm a poor person, let's say I'm on welfare and I'm paying my light bill is just going to increase, right?
Now, how is that going to affect in the community, in provinces?
Yeah.
That somebody else is figuring it out with the government.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they do care.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Exactly. So that is definitely. So that question comes back to the energy efficiency side. It's no more just a business. It's becoming a mandate. Somebody needs to figure this out and help average, as you just said, a poor person who has no clue.
Well, that's who you're worried about, right? Like the wealthy people figure it out. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. But we want to make sure that everybody, from a residential homeowner to a commercial partner to an industry, everybody knows that, like, you need to be prepared for it.
So, sorry, I interrupted you.
Yep.
What do you mean by the community needs to provide more support? And you're like energy literacy kind of stuff.
NB Power, Siemens doing really well. Mm-hmm. Definitely, they educated us. Mm-hmm. Like we found the need because of their mentorship.
Yeah, totally.
So they're doing well, but I think there's going to be need of lots of involvement from startup side, local governments, local businesses. They need to know that, like, everything that you're doing, every footprint that you have with your electricity, there's a footprint on carbon dioxide.
Gotcha.
You need to ask, how can I reduce that?
Sounds like there's an opportunity there.
I'm not selling my business, but
I'm just
anybody.
I'm just, hey, if somebody's listening and wants to do it, think about this.
Exactly. They should know that, okay, it's no longer just like, I want to be green citizen because I'm in the elite group. No, it is everybody should be like that.
Because I need to be or else. Yeah, kind of. Well, you know, like
global warming is
taxes are a deterrent, right? Like the people use taxes to be like, stop doing this thing. So you know,
yeah, exactly.
it works.
Exactly. So global warming is no more just like just a theory. Some content, somebody thinks that. Like I'm not mentioning who, but anyway, yeah, it is real. And our government, especially Justin Trudeau, is leading the clean tech industry Paris Climate Agreement as well. So if this is our mandate, we have to start from every level.
Right.
So that's what we're doing. So that's how I see the future right now. Is doesn't matter how we solve it. This needs to be solved.
So what happens in 5 years? Give me your 5 years out. So I'm going to ask you 2 more questions, and we're going to finish this.
Yeah.
What happens in 5 years? Let's do that one first.
Okay. 5 years.
What are you doing in 5 years?
As I say, like I look at a very short term as well as, of course, big one. But I know a goal by 2020, September 20. SimpTek is going to go public.
Whoa!
So that's what I know. But after that, what happens? I'm not sure.
All right, no, that's a good one. That's a line in the sand. Okay, here's my other one then. Jeff normally asks this, but Jeff's in Ottawa today. If you can give people one takeaway, what would you tell them? One thing you want people to know, either about you, about life, about anything.
There's so much. Just one thing?
Well, you can do a couple, but you know.
Okay. I mean, the top thing I think is, which always gave me the most pleasure, is do what you like.
Okay.
Okay. Feel your hear your gut. If you are a true person, if you know you're not a good person, then you know you're not going to take an action that is actually going to be good. But if you're a good person and you know this is good for others, listen to your gut, do that, and you will actually do good. So what I mean is, again, do what you think you like, you'll excel in it. It's not about being perfected, but you'll excel in it. If you have a dedication, so again, going, sorry, I just want to emphasize on this excellent perfection there, is when you do something that you like, and you have the mentality to excel in it, you'll figure it out.
Right.
Even if you make mistakes,
totally.
You'll get up and say, okay, I like it, I will do it.
Right.
Again, you fail it, again, you do it. But if you have the mentality that I want to be perfected at it, then the first time you fail, you're going to say, oh my God, I'm done.
Yeah.
Over.
How did this ever happen?
Yeah. So that's what I think is the biggest thing that inspires me every day. I wake up every morning with so much of problems, so much of stress in businesses, in some other lives and everything.